Okay, it's 6 p.m. I call this special board meeting for listening session to order. Let's start off with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since this is a listening session, I'm just going to do a roll call. Those who are here say aye. 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 So 6 board members are here. We do have a quorum. This, before we get started, I wanted to make clear to all the board members and the public, this is the public's time to come up and discuss with the board any topic or issue that they have. This is meant to listen. I'm asking my board members to only ask permission to speak to clarify questions that ask for clarity on the topic of the person speaking. The dialogue is going to be between the chair of the board and the person talking. If there is an opportunity for the village manager to provide clarity or some sort of answer to maybe a question or provide some information relative to the conversation, I will ask him to come in and speak. So I'm going to leave it up. So anybody want to come up and speak? Now is your time. Why don't you go ahead and start? Do you want to come up and talk to the board? Yeah.
I just came here to see what happens here, what you guys are up to.
Okay.
Just moved into the neighborhood.
Where are you from?
I grew up in Brilliant and Hilbert area, then Appleton for the last 25 years or so.
Well, we're glad you're in Harrison.
Yeah.
Anybody else have something they want to come in and talk about? Yep. Go with shot, sure.
Oh, well, I don't care.
Hi, Roger Wolfle, live on Stone Road. Thanks, first of all, for having this listening session. I think that's really great that the village does this. And I just want to hit on a subject I talked about last time I was here concerning the beacon, the light down on Firelight 8. Now, I know Chad did a lot of checking already, and there was a lot of information, a lot of emails going around, different people in Madison, the DNR, and all kinds of things, US Coast Guard involved, and quite a bit as far as getting a beacon put up, because the US Coast Guard is in charge of beacons for navigable waters and whatnot. But in reading through these emails, and I don't know what your thought was, Chad, but it almost looked as if too that there could be a light put up, not necessarily a beacon, but a light under what's called private aid light. So anyway, and I'm sure you're well aware of it because these emails, I'll tell you, they were quite a few. I was just wondering if it's possible if the village of Harrison was going to or could pursue that to get some type of light down there. It doesn't have to be a search beacon, but just some type of light for that landing.
So what our plan is to have the village electrician go down there and try to energize the service that's there. So there's a service on that pole that somebody has disconnected along the way. So we were gonna work with We Energies to get that service energized and see if the light that's on top of there works, and then use that light. If that light didn't work, then we were gonna try to just put up another light that we weren't gonna say was a navigational light. It was just a light that's on the top of a pole.
Good. That's what I was eventually getting to.
We were hoping to get to it this winter, and it's into. So it's on the list for the electrician, and it's something that they're gonna try to get before this, spring thaw of the ice.
Okay, okay, thank you. And if there would be any type of maintenance or anything like that involved too, I'm sure the members of Lake Park Sportsman's Club would be more than willing to help out too.
I can't imagine it's gonna be much, and I can't imagine the electricity on one of them is gonna be a problem. If that doesn't work, we also explored some solar lights like you would see on the landing strip for our airport that aren't that much, that run off of solar. You could just have the panels sticking to the south, and then we would have to pay a light bill. So that would be our backup line.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds great. Well, thanks much and I'll report that back.
We will get on it as soon as the weather cooperates.
Good. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Anybody else wanna come? Tom, I know you got a lot to say.
Good evening.
You just give us your name and your.
Tom Eitenbrook, N95, N9551 State Park Road. Just here to address something that I had addressed in previous boards several years ago. And I was told, yes, we're gonna get on it, we got a plan, we're gonna work on it, and it's the safe passage on these major corridors. Manitowoc Road, Woodland Road, Midway Road, State Park Road, Coop, Noe, these carrier streets that run, Manitowoc runs the full east to west. It's the street. You have a school, you have a new park, you got a new fire station on it. And it isn't a priority to you guys. When does it become a priority? We've got $11 million on a station, $3 million on an addition, $1 million, $2 million on trucks and that. But that infrastructure isn't carrying it. You're gonna be responding with trucks. People are gonna be responding to the station and that corridor is gonna be, it's not gonna get any lighter. And the land isn't gonna get any cheaper along it. If you have to purchase land, get it done. Doesn't take that long. It shouldn't take that much to engineer. Developers go, they buy land and in 2 years, they're putting in streets and selling lots. It can't be that difficult, guys. And I was assured this, that we're going to make this a priority. These roads are gonna be, and I haven't seen anything, and that was 4 or 5 years ago. And I know you were at the meeting. I don't think you were on board yet, Scott. But I don't remember, but like I said, it's been a while and I haven't seen anything. I don't see any plans even. I don't see this is going to be a priority anywhere. Yes, we want to do this, but it's gotta get done. And it's just getting bigger and bigger. It's going, it went to now it's going to State Park Road 55. It's not gonna get any smaller. And get it done now before you get too much development, especially beyond that. It has to be there. And, same with, these other streets. They're small roads. We require sidewalks, safe passage in plots. Sidewalks to nowhere. You're not going anywhere. It shouldn't be that difficult to see this stuff. I don't know why it isn't a priority. I understand that, it seems like you get focused on, this, we need this, and all of a sudden, oh, now this. And like I said, fire station, what did it take? 2 years to plan it and build it? $11 million?
That was more like a 10-year need.
I understand that, but this has been a need since development has started. And it's, like I said, we're requiring plots to have safe passage, sidewalks. Why don't these carrier streets have it? And like I said, I understand, we look at state funding and that. Well, I understand that too. Yeah, it'd be great to get funding. But also, we pay plenty of taxes here. There's money there. We just gotta hold back here, don't spend it here and get that done. I mean, roads aren't gonna get any cheaper and, nothing. There's no answers here. It's like I said, I don't even see a major plan. And it's just getting bigger. And it's like, by the time you get that plan, it's gonna, well, now we gotta go here. I've seen it happen before.
I think we finally tried to get funding through the Central Planning Commission, and I got turned down because of the way it's formed, whatever. And I know we did a cost analysis on what it was gonna cost. And I believe for that grant, we had to have engineering already done already, or not, no. Um. But I think for that. We had the engineering done, that was scored as higher, so it is a priority, it's something that we're focused on, and I think. We did a cost analysis and it was gonna be something like 20 million to do that, and I thought the plan was is. Wherever we have kids that are within the. Legal limit of using the TID money to. Do chunks of these major quarters, we were gonna do that. But the also, the transportation fee, that's part of the new rule that. Would fund, I think was 14 million of the 20 estimated. So we do have, the funding mechanism there. We do have. I think a plan, but is it down on paper? Have we shared it with the public? We have not done that, but we probably should.
It is on. It is on the 5-year plan, 5-year goal plan, which is posted on our website. Excuse me, it has design starting on Manitowoc between County End and. In 2027 and construction in 2028 of urbanizing that section. And then 2028 design and 2029 construction from Cove to Lake Park Road. And the reason we stated it that way is because, as the president said, we have implemented a new transportation impact fee on development that will fund a good portion of the project based on the house construction happening in the village. And also the incentives that are being paid out to the Driscoll development will be wrapping up, and it'll give us some additional cash in that TIF district to fund that project through the TIF.
So we have, I think the math works, so it's $20 million, it's gonna go up, but. With that transportation fee, that's 14 of the 20, and then with the TIDs, I. Just estimating, that's gonna leave us with 3 million basically out of the general fund, that's gonna have to be required to basically do it all. Well, you're right, we gotta put the plan together more on paper, hey, this is what we're doing, Manitowoc. Well, trust me, I've been focused on roads, and that road in particular is Woodland Road, we gotta, you're right, we gotta.
That's it, you're falling behind because that's one road, 20 million, you got, the 4 roads that really kind of need the attention.
Yeah, but you can't do it all.
I understand that, but you need to prioritize, that these are carrier streets, these are the ones, and we're just gonna have to give up other things. So we can get some of this done and make it safe,
Yeah.
and once they deteriorate, we'll resurface it because it's deteriorated and you didn't fix anything. That's just a waste of money.
Having 4 kids that went to Woodland School, knowing that you can't like. From where my office to Woodland Road safely is, or to Woodland School is, to me, it's. Unconscionable that you can't have. Safe passage from.
It's major streets, and like I said, you require that the developers, do stuff, it's like. Who's the oversight on what the town is responsible for, and it has to start from you guys saying, hey. This has become a priority and we can't be spending it on this, and we can't just tax everybody. I understand the TIFs and TIFs, but that takes time for that money to roll in too. So it's, it comes down to is we gotta cut back and live a little leaner somewhere else so we can accomplish that.
We are running the operation of, I trust me.
I appreciate that the taxes haven't gone up, as far as the village goes, but everybody else, doesn't care, but it's, and, I'm glad you guys are working with, the county and that on KK, and I get that, I don't think we should have to be any part of that or pay anything into it, but to get the ball rolling, what do you do?
So just we have with other communities.
Yes, but then once they start working on KK, where's the traffic gonna go?
Well,
Midway.
well, that is what we have a infrastructure plan to extend Eisenhower out to, these Manitowoc, we have to get that out to Woodland.
Yeah.
That will take a lot of traffic off. Another the big picture is getting that commercial on end to get the goods and services closer to the people here so they don't have to get on
Yeah.
AK to go to the grocery store, go to a gas station or a car wash, right? It's be nice if that stuff was a couple blocks away where you didn't have to get on KK to go to get your groceries or go to the.
I understand that, but there again, 10-year plan. For some of us, that ain't gonna be soon.
Well, I think, Jack, you heard that, I think maybe a Manitowoc Road specific plan, maybe an outline.
Mhm.
Where that leads us. I think you and I are aligned, board's aligned with how the funding's gonna roll into that project, but. To your point, it's not happening fast enough, and I get it, trust me, I would
Yeah.
like to have all the funding in the world to be able to get all.
I understand that, but like I said, we cut back here, cut back there, because it's gotta get done sooner or later, and it's just getting more expensive.
Yeah, anything else?
That was the main thing, because like I said, I haven't seen anything for years, and I know that I've heard talk, and I just haven't seen anything out there saying, this is the design we're thinking of, have some input from people saying, yeah, that'd be, I think this will work, the people that are most affected live right on there, so. And everybody's gonna say, well, I don't want that in my backyard, or I don't want this, but
At least if there's something rolled out for the public to absorb, to say, it's not. It's not being worked on, it's
Yeah.
just, there's a plan, let's get it out to the public and roll it out for consumption.
fair enough.
And
Sure.
in our capital improvements plan for 2026, almost 6 million of our, roughly 7.5 million is going to roads.
So I understand that, like I said, roads aren't cheap, so it's just like I said, those are the roads that. Like you said, there, it's the more that you ask, you say, well, if we get, some development there, well, now that's road's gonna get more busy. So, it's
And to say like funding for roads is. Don't get me on a soapbox here, it's very competitive, it's like they pit communities against each other.
Oh, yeah.
And that's whatever funding.
I understand that, and I've said, years ago, I said, these municipalities gotta start working together on some stuff, or otherwise. Nobody's gonna be able to afford to live here. So. All right, thanks, guys.
Ken? Come on.
Was gonna improve.
No, you,
I can elaborate on
let's come on.
a little bit. Only 2 cents worth. Ken Schwalbach, Sugar Maple Way. As you all know, I'm a big advocate of the corridors being safer. I lived there 18 years, it's what I do. Because I see a lot. But anyway, I just want to emphasize Mr. Ambrose's comment about repairing the roads before the new ones go in. And I just want to say it's at that point almost, Woodland Road is deteriorating, that top layer is flaking off. There's potholes from one end to the other, from end to Lake Park. And in my opinion, they're gonna have to be addressed before the road goes in 2030, I believe, Ted. And then regards to North Coop, what I've observed is that road wasn't out of shape until the construction of all those apartment buildings started on that corner. So are these developers paying anything towards the road that they're destroying?
Well, they're not paying now, but the new ones that are going in are gonna be paying, that's for sure.
I mean,
We haven't approved any new ones, so I don't know that we're gonna get any money from the existing one.
that road would have lasted for years with just so many traffic.
Which is the idea behind having a transportation fee as far as construction, because we all know. New growth, you didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for it. Well, if you wanna live here, you gotta pay.
No, but it's here.
to fix the roads that you're taxing,
Right. It seems like we went from a rural community to a suburban, the growth is fantastic. But we gotta grow with it, you know.
Well, not only grow with it, but those who are moving young, can't ask you or me or anybody else who already lives here existingly to pay for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Great. I was wondering then also, is there any private funding that's possible? I mean, these farmers are getting pretty rich. When they sell their land for development. A lot of them, I'm sorry to say, probably don't wanna do that. If they're forced out. Of farming that they love to do. But. I know years ago. The guy that built my house in Darboy. He sold a few acres in the side. And he died a rich man, and then if he had an opportunity, I'm sure he would have loved to share.
Well, I'm sure if anybody wants to write a check to the village.
I mean, is that possible?
I mean, we're more than happy.
I mean, could we post that or something, if anybody's willing to? I don't know, it's just an idea. See, I get myself in trouble, that's why I'm not.
Do you have anything you can come up?
I was just here to listen and I'm wondering what this is all about, but
We're just here to listen to the public, any issues that you have, any concerns?
I'm grateful. This is Dan Wallander. I'm from an 8364 State Park Road. I'm grateful to all of you for serving on the board. I appreciate that you are willing to listen to us and I feel out of place in asking for this. Obviously, what I'm talking about is way low on the priority list compared to what the roads need and things like that. But I'd like to the feel of what this community really wants to be. I've been living here for 22 years and it just seems like it's just a bedroom community. And you live on the northeast shore of a fantastic lake. Just I just don't see us taking advantage of this as much. Yeah, we're growing in community wise.
Well, we do have the Super Bowl of fishing coming up here.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, this definitely needs me up to sporting and part of this. As you know, you've known me before. I've spoken about this idea of having a powered paragliding type of landing zone being built somewhere on a farm area away from the suburban area, but I've posed this idea multiple times. I know it's come up of board meetings or with little or no response. I never heard anything plus, minus, or otherwise about it. I know it's really low on priority, but I guess I'm trying to feel out what this community is about. I mean, I would love to see, it doesn't have to be called like, you can be park. It means a decent signature sized park. Something where people can walk around, use it year round, just a multi-mode park, not just something with some swing sets and some pavilions. You notice that some of the best things happen at the Darboy Community Park due to the what the group of
Kiwanis.
the Kiwanis Club puts on weekly or one night a month. And that park is too small. So it's has a wonderful venue. There's no parking, there's no way to really see the size of an event that could be held here. So I'm asking if you couldn't consider making something in your next 10-year plan about a park, and I'm not talking another, Farmers Field Park, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about something that's much more in line with, the size and scope of
Memorial Park.
and bigger yet. I mean, on the other side of Appleton is a park, I can't think of the name of it, but it's wow,
That's Allegheny County Park, but
right. But it's something on that scale where there's a huge, lots of different events that can take place there, and not just any one event brings people to it. And yeah, we have parks.
you know, we
None
have
of them
one of the best state parks. Right inside our villages.
and yeah, and
That's not, I get.
and yes, the people that are in the local area do use it. And there's gonna be a trail that's gonna be built here eventually, I'm assuming it's following State Park Road. The last I heard of it, but I'd like to see some more excitement about Polish. I don't see. We worry about all our roads and we worry about how many houses are being built. I want to build a community, not a suburb. And I think we need to have people. And frankly, I don't find this community as friendly as I used to. I think a part of it is because of the growth and the demands of the people. And if we bring people together more at community parking events and fairs and whatnot, I think we have a better community because we'll get to know each other on a face-to-face level, not Facebook to Facebook level.
So, and what, we had a visioning session, as that was something that I was stressing is. What is Harrison known for? When you think of Harrison, what do you think of?
I think of a bunch of people living here that all work somewhere else. And they spend their money somewhere else. And they,
You sound like a broken record to me, I mean.
I know you guys know this, I don't have to, but what's gonna change it?
That's everything costs money.
Okay,
Um,
I don't doubt that anything costs money, I mean, but it starts with a vision first. What is the vision? If we, right now, the only vision I see is having a community. That's all. But I'm grateful, thank you for serving on the board.
and it weighs on me, I would love to see something signature, like when you think of Oshkosh, what do you think of?
Yeah, and
What do you think of, Seymour?
yeah,
The Hammer Fest, right? I mean, every community's got their own little. Thing and what they're known for, and that's something I think Chad and I have talked about. That visioning and what that should be and how we can. Develop something for the future that would be something that we're look for, right?
anyway, thank you very much, appreciate your service.
Thank you.
I know I said way too much, but okay, so I gotta say, I am Joseph W. Miller, W4991, State Highway 114. My phone number is one different in the office here, it's 1060, not 1062. I still do get calls sometimes, but all the prompts gotta go through here, so we say, sorry, I can't help you. So, anyway. I didn't know about the meeting tonight, other than last night I saw the order, but since, sorry. For about the past 6 months, my neighbors, I used to live in the Chilton area, everybody's asking me, what's going on, what's next to you, Joe? One of the names, 47 years ago, when we moved here, we were told that either that woods or parts of woods was in a preserve, Woodland Preserve, Sioux Falls, do you know? How do I find out?
I have no idea. We could talk to the planning department and see what they would know.
I came to the office one day in December, unfortunately, we were pretty busy that afternoon. And I tried to ask people on staff, I said, I'd like to know what the address is down there, I didn't have things, I didn't find this. Can you this know? There's a true to the woods farm. They didn't know, I didn't even tell.
There is no address. We don't assign addresses to vacant parcels, so there just would be a person.
There'd be a parcel, okay, we can get that.
Yeah, if you go on, McDonald's website,
Excuse me, I don't. No cell phones, no computers for me. Hey, sorry, I use my brand new 1961 Smith Corona tape.
they said they're gonna be honest.
So anyway, okay, so that's what I'm trying to think, like, whatever they're doing, they're fine, it's just, if it's legal, illegal, I don't know. But I'm tired of people asking what's going on, and they think I should know, and drive by, I know your ordinances that, you can be picked up for this on the town now. If you're beating, I just went through that on public safety, so people drive by me and see me out there, slow, beep, 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 and I do. It's really time, I don't know, public safety, it's more than this. That's it, swirling your tires. Okay, now you've got officers on tourists and people for border home. So I'm gonna tell them how
I need to get back on that policy.
say it's, I can give you the paperwork on it all, you know, the numbers from 25. What I mean, the fleet and an officer, so what okay, another question. 11 months ago, a good friend of mine, we were in the Van Owls. It's a big banquet hall going to be built over the next you on Control. I said he saw it in the paper. That's the only thing I've ever heard of it. I'm way next to a couple times. Is that true, false, or was the land sold for a banquet hall on the road, which is directly west there?
There was a proposal off of west of Pigeon Road for a wedding barn, and that fell through. That's being built up on Highway 55 and KK now.
Oh, it's being built in our development area? Okay, so, yeah, when the guy, let's go see the guy that said he saw it in the paper and all, can, you know, something be rejected after it was printed or some reported on it, right? Or,
No, it came before the board about treating it just in that area, and the board decided against it because of traffic concerns on State Highway 114, so it was kind of the developer walked away from that site and was looking for other sites, and so the village worked with him on property up on 55.
okay. Other subject, back in 2008, the state decided to make from Castle Drive to the overpass a limited access highway. We all got paperwork on it, everybody loved it. You couldn't put any more culverts in. Well, my neighbor and farmer, he got us all put in July over here. Okay. Now, I see them down the road, somewhere here, I just think for a reading where somehow the village approved or the state approved that the greenhouse or whatever is going in. We got put in there. It's just off 114. I guess that's kind of my concern with that's community. Are they gonna end up moving the driveway or being able to put a culvert in or they enter the woods now, whatever's going on there, whether you're gonna build or something like that.
Well, 114 isn't controlled by Harrison, that is
Well,
controlled
by the state, from Castle, I got the paperwork, I didn't bring it to the paper, from Castle Drive to the overpass, no driveways onto 114. Anyway. No, my neighbor Steve Reuter down there, he's pretty upset about it because he's got the paperwork got from the state. So here we come along, and there was reading a lot of paperwork that was endorsed by the village of Harrison to let them put a culvert in here. And well, I gotta put the property. Got to put the culvert in. How we gonna get this thing there? That's okay. You know, the state said no more, it's back away.
You know what this is about, Shannon?
I can't tell you why the state is approving or not approving it. We send everybody to the state and the state approves some of them, the state doesn't approve others. I don't know the rationale on why I want to do it.
Basically, maybe not anymore here, but back then,
I don't remember us ever.
yeah, you weren't here. Back then, this place was filled up with people. Okay, from Sherwood, yeah, the thing is there. Absolutely, yeah, they're not gonna allow any because of traffic concerns. So why is it, now listen to stuff. Lower, lower. And with this, the limited access highway, what Brett Martin, remember some of that, you know what I mean? Okay, so now 3 years ago when we paved the road, you do the white stripe out here and it legally becomes a passing lane. And unfortunately, we've had some fatalities because of it. So people asked me, said, hey, we're waiting in traffic, we're on our way to Appleton and somebody passed us on the right. This your neighbor from the other, what's going on in white stripe? Well, we took it up with the traffic safety committee in the county, like maybe I'm a little out of my territory here. Yes. That's one of the permissible things that the state gave us, that you can pass on the right. And the reason was if somebody's waiting to turn left to go down State Park, and there's a vehicle behind them, you could legally go over the white line and pass. I see it happening all the time. Well, there's some people that nearly got their rear ends cracked and got killed because what's going on? You know what I mean? You think if somebody's coming right at me, you know what I mean? See the people that work here and what happened out there, that's still pretty serious stuff. They don't know that Harrison had any power to stop that because it's against state highway. Terrible. Actually, the only place, according to traffic study, the only place in a rural area where that is the regulator. So we're using your guns. Okay, funny things. Gentleman before me, he's talking about we need to all-purpose airplanes to get people again. How do we compete for the city that now holds the cloakship throwing contest and see if we can volunteer to do it here? Can anybody tell me where that facility is?
Song City.
Correct. So how about if we compete for that? You know what I mean? Put our name in as a village. Say, okay, we'll take that up and maybe we can move it. It's been going on there since '73. Okay.
Jen, you got that on your list?
Okay. Or another feature in my travels, the things that people leave around Wisconsin. You know, there's a place down in Texas that's called Cadillac Junction, where for 14 years in a row, they would permit us to know Cadillacs pass them down. And I've been to it, got a picture of me back in, what would you got, Cadillac, 10,000, in the late '90s, we were there, yeah. That's another feature that, you know, people travel.
So we can do that on your property then?
What? Yeah, that's better.
That's what they're saying in that movie.
Yeah, really good. We're not in the woods, you might as well, because the rock in the triangle can never be moved. That's an Indian relic that stays put, got moved. When they took a while on it. So anyway, enough, all right, thank you for your answers. Okay, so.
Thanks, Joe. All right, that's about all that's here. I appreciate the board listening. I guess I'll open it up to you guys. Do you have any thoughts on any of the comments? I'll open it up to you. Make it brief.
I know what Joe's comment on the safety at 145. Yeah, I know, Joe's comment on the safety on 114, the state DOT controls what goes on over here. I mean, we're handcuffed. Okay, we can recommend things and stuff like that, but they control what goes on here. You know, this is a danger. We lost the assistant planner here a couple years ago. Or I'm concerned that she known them all here. You know, it's just safety's huge, and that was one of the reasons the old wedding venue didn't go in down here because they didn't have even approval from the state DOT to put a driveway onto 114. They wanted to access 114 for a wedding venue. Can you imagine 300-400 people trying to access 114 after a wedding? That was so that was the reason they moved up the road on 55. But I agree 110%. But we're handcuffed in the state of Wisconsin here. You know, we're Harrison, and we can let the state DOT and staff can go to East Central meetings and event, you know, our constituents' concerns to these people. That's all we can do. But I hear you loud and clear that this highway is becoming more dangerous every day of the week and the month. This is more and more development out here on East Shore. Everyone's funneling to the valley from here, you know, so. And you live right over here, so you see it your whole life here. It's not getting any safer. And I sympathize with you. I wish I had a better answer for you, Joe. Would you?
Yeah, we've thought about moving the last 5 or 6 years. You see people, when we're trying to come home to turn left, they're passing me on the right, on the gravel. And who do you call? Okay, we got a house, we ran the phone off the wall and call somebody, say 6 minutes ago, this license number passed us. All our deputies are all busy right now with a domestic dispute, really, we can't go. So you hire more police officers. I know that right now we're too short for the county. I'm on public safety. We know that.
They're still too short? They've been too short since I was on there.
Correct, correct. Well, you got retirements, you got people that suddenly, the last guy took a job up in Bayfield because he moved up a rank rather than sit here and wait to move up. He moved up in Bayfield. That's the last one. I mean, it's like, it's reasons, retirements, you know what I mean, short notice. But yeah, you keep crying about citizen input. And again, it don't go nowhere. You gotta run it through, first of all, the community, the village, you know what I mean, township, village, whatever. By the time it gets to the state, somebody's making a decision that has no idea how much traffic count is on the road, or there was an accident 2 years ago, a fatality. We just had one in December up at 10:55. That guy died. An accident, about 12 days later, he died. I didn't know him, but my oldest son-in-law was a good friend of him. So yeah, and again, I don't know. The snowplow drivers are saying that people are following us too closely. Know what I mean? And then what do you expect? You've had 13 crashes this winter as of last week with snowplows in the state this year. So I'm telling the county, that's just not necessary fatalities. But people don't care, or is it too much in this? Whatever they're carrying, cell phones or computers, laptop. I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
you could drop
driver behavior, it's
Yeah.
something that we've tried to tackle in the village with speeding, but I think it's gotten better. I think we've got a plan to attack that. But curtailing driver behavior is not easy. It's like, I mean,
Oh, we got
and you know, Woodland Road, how fast do you think they go on Woodland Road?
Depends on the time, but 1 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. I would estimate 80, 90 miles an hour.
well, last year we got 4 ways put in at Coopin Midway, you know what I mean? And we've had flashing lights at,
Who proposed that, by the way? Who proposed that, by the way?
I think,
So, I was saying.
and we've had lights in my neighborhood bar and grill for the past 6 years. There's been some fatalities there and a lot of near misses, so, what more can you do sometimes?
Hey, by the way, are you still on the chair position? Are you over there?
Public safety,
No, the highway committee.
yes,
What's the deal with, Midway Road? How soon is that gonna get done?
no plans right now.
And that's just because of funding, right?
Yeah, funding and getting together with Appleton. So it's not on the immediate board through the next 2 years.
When I was on there, it was like a 3-year plan, and that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, and some keep changing because we're gonna do M, again, that's the subject.
That's anybody's right. See, you're all.
M this summer, but they found out they gotta replace all the piping, so it's getting pushed back to late summer rather than the way in the May. Highway M.
Oh, yeah.
So then we gotta swap that with, what's going on.
Well, the county had to put, county DB, they spent all that money on DB, like the one somewhere else, but.
You allocated, it's nice to make decisions, so I know. Okay, glad you're having us.
All right. Anybody else? Yeah.
Just want to thank the public for coming as well. It's appreciated. Just we're hearing the feedback, I guess, just a couple of things that I do think we're definitely missing a signature park. I think that's very valid feedback. I know in our comprehensive plans that we've looked at, they consistently come back saying that we don't have the park space that we should have for our capita. And I just don't know, is there ways to somehow socialize something where maybe you would get family that would want to donate some parkland, out further, naming rights, the whole 9 yards, that it could really do some kind of a signature, like a Plowman Park or something, you know, where, you know, sure, know the family name out. I mean, it's one of the part of that, you know, and that's legacy type stuff, where it doesn't happen overnight. But if you don't ever start somewhere, then it never can happen. And then the other thing is, I do think we need to figure out what we're gonna do about Noe and Coop and Midway. And as well, Woodland, I mean, you know, we got some things in the capital plan, but as far as how we involve the public more. True, like sketches, not even before the engineer, not even before you've actually spent money on engineering, because by then I think it's too late, but actually getting some input from the public on. What do they also wanna see, a 10 foot wide trail, not a trail, how, you know, all those kind of things, and get some of that feedback. Early on, so we have all that when we're actually prepared to start doing that, because. With those couple other subdivisions in the works along Manitowoc too and stuff. We definitely need to figure that out, so. And North Coop has gotten. You know, we were hoping to get a couple years out of that, but. I don't know if you guys have been down that at all. It's taken quite the beating this winter, it's.
We patched it today, I think.
It's a free rush of it, so, but anyway.
It's all valid points. We have some other issues on other roads that have bubbling up through the Niagara escarpment that are failing on the south side of the village and will need to be addressed this year as well. So the roads have taken a beating this year all over, and it's gonna have to come down to what we have available for funding and we can get done.
It's always about the money. I mean. You know, someone brought up about. What's the plan for when? Someone sells a land, do they contribute to the rules? Well, I can tell you, we as a board had changed some rules or ordinances that require developers. To upgrade the roads on major arteries, so. Any development on Woodland Road. They're on the hook for urbanizing that, or at least paying their share for urbanizing it. So. That southern part of Manitowoc Road that's not developed. East of Woodland School, any development goes in there, they're gonna have to contribute to the urbanization of that road, that's no. At least on their half or that side of the road. So we put some things in place to make sure that. We're not going to be handed the bag. At the end of the day to fix and urbanize everything, so we've put some mechanisms in place where. Any development that comes in. They're the ones that are gonna have to put the trail in, especially arteries. I mean, that was a big win for us where. You build on Woodland Road, you're gonna put a trail, at least along the parcel where you're developing, so. Any other question?
I was just wondering, it seems like the common denominator here for deteriorating roads are the dump trucks and the concrete truck. Is it possible to disallow trucking unless you have business in that neighborhood?
So
What I
the rule,
noticed,
we do have no trucking rule, but. The structural vehicles are exempt from that rule. Because in order to. You add on to your policy that I have construction vehicles come to your house and.
right, I understand that. If they have business on your road or in your neighborhood, that's an exception. But why are these dump trucks going from, I don't know, say behind Walmart? Why are they coming down Lake Park to Woodland and over to Stockbridge? Instead of going straight to 10 on a concrete highway. And let the county repair their roads and the village save them money. And the repairs there.
I don't know if it's. Not that legally they could do that.
That's why
Construction vehicles, right, yeah.
There's some enforcement that can be done. I think if you're seeing a common one coming through there, I would encourage you to call it in.
G&E, Gene Fredericks. Period. I called them myself and asked them to reroute their trucks.
That's good to know.
Nope.
So I'll talk,
Seconds faster going down Woodland than it is.
We do have some no trucking signs. We need to check into that. I know part of it's trying to also truck, we've had full semis go down midway between. Hoop and Noe, for example, too, even though they're. Even though there's blatant no trucking. signs.
challenges is that the county highway that dead ends and there's no way to get off of it. On Midway. Cause where Midway runs into Coop. That's the county highway EP end, and then you run into Midway East there towards the park is a village road. Realistically, the county should take over Midway all the way up to county end.
You're gonna open up an old wound there. That battle's been fought a long time ago.
I get it, but I'm just saying that that's the challenge.
Is there something to work with the county and Appleton with that fits in different signage so the truckers know before they get that far that they can't keep going and I don't know.
I requested that.
Okay.
Okay, if there's not anything else, thank you again, appreciate it. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, I call the meeting adjourned.
We can put truck signs on, look better.
So you're in, if you have one.
So Jay, we got no truck signs on Woodland?
I think so.
Over here.
Truck signs on Woodland?